Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Carrie's Musings. It's 12 noon on the East Coast and 9 on the Pacific, and everything else in between. How's everybody doing today on this Friday afternoon or Friday morning, depending on where you are? Hope you're doing great. Hope everybody's doing fine. I'm trying to be. A lot of things going on in this world now. A lot of things we can talk about. A lot of things we can't talk about. It's amazing what's going on, what we know and what we don't know. But one thing, I want to apologize. I have never formally told what I do and why I do it, what have you. Most of you know, but to start out, I'm a freedom fighter. Freedom fighter. Go by Carrie's Musings. I go by my name, Carrie McDonald. I don't hide behind anything else. Proud, proud fighter. Hey, Freedom, how you doing today? And a member of 1776 Restoration Movement. In fact, I'm a district lead in Polk County here in Florida, trying to get the organization going down here in Florida. Anybody in Florida can get a hold of me. Let me know. I just assume people knew, but I got to quit assuming and get it out there. Picking up all my mistakes and everything, but we all have to band together and unite. Unite in one cause, no matter who you belong to, what organization. Need to be one big group in order to take on what we have to take on. We can't be X so and so and X so and so over here doing their own thing. We need to come together, unite, organize, clear any differences, what have you. We're all one big happy family going for the same cause. If in 1775 in this country they would have done that, they'd have never won the revolution if they hadn't banded together and everybody united in the same common cause. And that's what we have to get like. We don't want a bloody revolution. We just want things to go by the Constitution, keep the Constitution in place, the Electoral College, which is fair, which gives small states just as much power as the big states. And this is what we have to work on. This is what we have to do as people. We, the people of the United States, band together, work hard, put a lot of energy into it, let them know that we're not going to take it anymore. So much is going on, so much in the background. If you think about it, all my life, I'm 73 years old. All my life, there have been things going on that's going to end the world. Going to end the world. In fact, just here recently, AOC was saying that the world was going to be destroyed in 7 years. Well, it's almost up, and we're still here. So, a lot of things like that. First of all, we couldn't use wood, and most houses and buildings and what have you are built from wood, from lumber. Big booming business. They grow fast. They grow tall. Oh, don't destroy the Amazon. We're going to destroy the Amazon. We won't be able to breathe. We won't be able to do anything. We think all these great scientists are smart people. Oh, yeah. They're such smart people, but yet they don't know what will help the world or what will harm the world. They try to outdo Mother Nature and God. Well, forest fires are nature's cleansing.
natural currents. They cleanse the world. It burns off all the excess and leaves most of it there. It just burns through the brush quick and fast, and everything comes up behind it a lot greener, a lot greener. And we just don't know how to leave well enough alone. We don't know how to leave well enough alone. Always got to fix this, fix that. You probably saw the senator going up against the lady that was against plastics. Well, plastics comes from crude oil, supposedly fossils from dead dinosaurs, what have you, people, everything that decayed and rot becomes petroleum, oil, petroleum based. And if you think about it, everything we use in this life comes from oil in plastics. They're coming up with pretty good corn based bottles for water and stuff, but there's still a good portion of petroleum product goes into making that. They haven't come quite down to getting it all about. Always wanting to change things, always wanting to fool around with things, always think they're no better. We can go back to the old lead pipes that were poisoned. We can go back to copper, but it takes a lot to process copper pipes. We need the plastic pipes. They're more durable. They last longer. The PCV seems to hold up pretty good. Easy to replace. Easy to replace. But it's just like the oil spill in the Gulf. Not oil spill, but the oil leak when they messed up and uncapped the oil well. Hey Slim, how you doing? Good to have you here. Hi Charlene. Hope you're doing great. Miss you guys. Need to get back over there soon. But all of a sudden an organism come up, and what did it do? It gobbled up every bit of that oil. They were afraid the beaches would be corroded and everything would be polluted by oil. But guess what? God sent that organism to eat the oil and saved the beaches and saved everything. God has his way of keeping this earth pure and clean. And we all try to interfere with it, mess around, do all kinds of rigmarole to supposedly make things better. And we have. I mean, I can't deny that we have not made a lot of things better, but we've made a lot of things worse. Have you ever realized? I don't know how many of you are about my age, but back when I was growing up, everything was pictures and everything was taken in black and white or Kodachrome. Kodachrome. That's an old picture taking terminology. But Chromachrome was a lot brighter than the pictures our digitals take now. They were mainly overcolored. But if you think back, when you think back, especially me, I don't know. Let me know. But when you look back, things when you remember it look different than it do now. Either the dimmer or gray. Is that because our memory is like what they say we dream in black and white? But I remember when I was a youngster, we lived in Canton, Ohio, and we had a steel mill there. And boy, how did it stink! The sulfur smell that come out of there. But once you got used to it, you didn't notice it. But if you left town and come back, you would really notice it. And we were like 50 miles from Pittsburgh, and we'd go see my great aunt and her millionaire boyfriend in Pittsburgh. He lived on Fifth Avenue. When we got to Pittsburgh, it was like a black cloud because there was a lot more than one steel mill. There was a lot there, and it was dirty, grimy, cruddy, and gloomy, as I remember. But they got busy and cleaned it up, and now Pittsburgh's a beautiful city. Beautiful city. Same goes for Chicago. Same goes for New York, but it's still a dirty city. Well, we've done a few advances in cleaning up our environment, which we should. We should take care of our earth, but we can't change God's plan, or as they call it, Mother Nature. We just should not dabble in it. If it makes it better, fine. But some of the stuff, like our foods, they put things in our foods mainly to give it more shelf life, not more nutrients that we need. In fact, a lot of the stuff is anti-nutritional, not good for us. But they put it in there anyway, just so they can keep it on the shelf longer, maintain it. But everything we hear, there's always something that we're doing to destroy the planet. Doomsdayers. We're going to destroy the planet. We can't use our fuel. We can't. These exhaust emissions are terrible. We got to spend more money mining lithium for batteries for electric cars. That'll cost a lot more, not be as reliable, probably more pollutant than processing it than the fossil fuels. Yeah, we did. I spent a lot of time in the woods myself. It was fun, good times. We didn't have all the electronic games to sit there with it in our faces and killing the nerves in our bodies from the electromagnetic forces that it puts out. Wearing rubber sole shoes or plastic that doesn't let the magnetic forces out of our body to ground us. I'm learning a lot of things studying, reading things, and a lot of it makes real good sense. I mean, there's a lot of big thinking going out there. Help yourself than their customers. You're right, Nabi. I tell you what, we go so far, and everybody just finds out on any other opinion. And when you're anti something, you're wrong. And they put big labels like we're white nationalists, and they emphasize the last of the sentence, so people think, "Oh my goodness, you're bad." Like it's a question: is it white nationalist? And put an accent on it, or they're mega, or everybody knows what they do. They put it in an emphasis where it either acts like a question that needs to be reversed or whatever, that it's bad. It's unfortunate that we had to live during times like this and hear this stuff because everything is conservatives, white nationalists, do gooders, make America great again. What's wrong with those? I would think everybody in this United States of America would want to make it great again. Oh, it's never been great. Never been great. Yeah, the lithium in Africa is mainly done by child labor. How you doing, Chaplain? Good to have you. Anybody wants to jump on board and discuss anything on this topic or other topics? Come on ahead.
That's what we're here for. We're one big happy family. We need to discuss it together. It's not just about me. This is not just about me. This is about everybody. All of you out there. We're all involved in this. Each and every one of us. And we have to get that through our heads that we have to cooperate, help each other out, do things for each other, let people know what's going on. It's just not a one man show. And I'm not in here to gain popularity or make a bunch of money. All I want to do is get the truth out, let it be known. What I see, what I hear, I'll pass it along. But we all hear it. We just have to get in gear and let everybody know. Everybody around the world, not just here in the U.S. We've got Navi in UK. We've got Andy in Canada and you in Germany and Australia. We got everybody comes in here. And we are the world. We are the world. Something going on with my oh, there's Zero. How you doing, Zero? Good to have you here. You guys, if you want to come in, come in. Let's get this going. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. It's good to see Santa come in on Arriba Dive Girls video this morning, her drive to work. Good to see him in there. Tell him hello. We have to unite. Unite. Key word. Everything. Oh, okay. Everybody wondering. No, everybody can't see that. But anyway, there's a lot of different things we can do online. A lot of things we can do to help to get the movement going. A lot of things. If you know somebody or you belong to the 76 Restoration Movement, get people to help, get people involved to organize, get permits, line up events, line up meet and greets, all kinds of things that people can do. Call our representatives, let them know what we think. A lot of times we just sit back and watch. A lot of times we sit back and watch. And we got to beware. We have to beware of who we associate with, too. I've noticed that a lot of people tend to act like they're helping, but they're like taking notes and keeping things to use against people. You know what I'm saying? So we have to watch for those that are out for themselves, who in the background use whatever they get against you. And it's being done all the time. You can see it. You probably know who's doing it. But we have to watch our surroundings and watch who we talk to and watch how we say everything. Make sure we say is fact, or at least close to fact. We can't tell everything exactly all the time. There's no way. There's some things we're going to hear that looks like they're verified, acts like they're verified, but they're not really verified. So don't take everything 100%. Go out and investigate yourself. If I say something you don't know whether it's right or wrong, go out and verify it. Check on it. Research it. We sit back and we hear things and we just t- put it back out there like it's the truth. Well, even when I say check it out, don't depend on me. Always depend on yourself. There's a lot going on. A lot of things look like the truth. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. If you go online, there's a lot of videos and things that are old. They're still good, but they're old. And you have to kind of know what's old and what's new. What's old and what's not, it's crazy. And the mainstream media is not going to tell us the truth on anything. Nada, nothing. They're going to put their agenda out, and that's it. That's going to be the gospel. And it's just they label you, like I said, with the anti-word, whatever, anti-scientific, anti-this, anti-that. We've proven that all the fooey we went through for the last 3 years was all garbage, that nothing protected against anything. But they still want to go and say that we're wrong, that we're murderers. The conservative people don't know what they're talking about. And they come out and say conservative people, or white nationalists, or whatever their label is. It's never the liberal, never point back to themselves, ever. Ever. This is what we're up against. They're right, we're wrong. No matter what it is. Just like I was saying the other day in my open speech to Val Demings, my representative here in Florida. She represents the J6ers as much as she does the other people in her state. Think about that. There's no enemy in the US of A. We're all the people. Whether we protest against something, not on the same page, whatever, we're still we the people, and she represents us and every one of them there. We have to get each and every one to know that we're not going to put up with it anymore. There's a lot of people. You're right, Dobby. There's a lot of people that put themselves up as gods, which apparently all our representatives think they are now, or kings and queens themselves. And this is what we have to be up against. This is what we got to fight. This is what we got to get people to understand, that they're not out for our interests whatsoever. They're out for their own common interest, all out for their goal, not ours. Yo, I'm from Biden land. I'm sorry, Robbie. I mean, Nobby. We are really blind here in the U.S. to what goes on in other countries. Thank goodness you're on here, keeping us informed, letting us know that UK, Great Britain, British is all like different countries themselves. That the English are the conservative, more
it's more expansive than it is here in the States with the two-party system. It's terrible how blinded we've become to everything. We try to stay isolationist, but yet we want to get in everybody's business around the world. And the people themselves here in the United States are not educated to other foreign factors. I mean, I would say 1 in 10 here in the U.S. would know anything about politics in Germany, France, England, Russia especially. We know a little bit about China, but we don't know everything. We know that it's a communist state and they rule the people with iron fists, but we don't know how they come up with their ideas and how they legislate and how they put it forward. We just know that a certain factor rules everything. How it's run and the way it's run, we have no idea. Absolutely not a clue. And I'm one of them. I have absolutely no idea. I do try to keep up with like Canada, England, Germany, France, and all these democracies. We are not a democracy in the United States. We have to get people to know this, that we are a constitutional republic. We are a constitutional republic. We elect our representatives by vote to represent us. It's not, and democracy is majority takes all. Well, they could come up with any lame brain law and a majority vote on it, it would be law. And I always say, like in Rome, they wanted to kill the Christians, so they made it legal to feed them to the lions by democracy. So on its own, democracy is a misnomer. It doesn't help with freedom. It doesn't help with liberty, pursuit of happiness. The only way we do that is to have people speak for us, listen to us, do what we ask, and then go against each other and with common sense decide. Always, Porta Bonza, how you doing? Always devolves. It's there's no way a country could stand being a democratic run country, because there's always the ones that don't want the best is always going to get to the top, and it leads to the dictatorship, communism, socialism, what have you. In principle, social is a good idea. Socialism, it becomes corrupt because the greedy take over. They take more than their share. And they always find a way to do it. And the only people in history that's ever really anywhere come close to succeeding is the Amish. And that's basically because of their love of God and their knowledge of the Bible and not Bible's ways, and they follow it. The only way it survived. And many other religious groups have tried it, but they don't hold the strict standard of God that the Amish do. But what's sad is you see the Amish are starting to break away and get more lenient, get more like their Mennonites, and it it breaks down. It breaks down, and hopefully they're not breaking down. Hopefully, if they want to live that way, that's their prerogative. If they don't want to drive a vehicle, that's their prerogative. Just all in your belief, state of mind. But this is what we got to get people to understand. If there's alternatives to all this other stuff, there's always a better idea, always a better way. Always a better way. I I think all the time, what try to visualize what will happen to us if we continue in the path we're going. What will our children, grandchildren, great grandchildren, what will they have to put up with? What will they have to live through? And we see it so bad for us now. It's going to be 100, 1,000 times worse. We need to wake up. Speaking of great grandchildren, I'm expecting to call anytime to go witness my great granddaughter being born. So I might have to take off out of here in a hurry. This will be my 10th great grandchild on my normal kids, the step side. I haven't been able to get in contact in a few years, 2 or 3 years. There's probably more because they were all at the age of being able to have children of their own, my grandchildren, step grandchildren. Hopefully they contact me, or hopefully I can get up there and look them up, but nobody knows where they are. I don't know. They probably have a bunch more. I guess large families breed more large families. So I was the oldest of 11. The oldest of 11. And we learned to fend for ourselves and help each other in the meantime, and do with and do without, and good and bad. That was one good thing. We learned to get along and deal with what we had. If we didn't have it, we learned to do without it. But kids nowadays don't have it that way. They get what they want. We hand it to them to pacify them. We got to stop doing it to it. Because kids will push, and they feel any give, they'll push harder and they'll go right through you. You got to stand strong, like a wall, like a brick wall, immovable, and not give them everything they want, and teach them in the right way. Otherwise, just keep on pushing until they get their own way. And that doesn't teach them the standing in the future when they have to listen and do things that their bosses tell them to. And their work ethic is going to be terrible. They probably get fired, go out and have to live on thievery, robbery, what have you. This is how it happens. Because we don't teach our children right. We don't teach them to have a moral backbone.
And I was watching a video yesterday of a mother went into the school. The school, she wore a mega T-shirt on Flag Day, and the police told her she had to take it off. The school said we didn't tell her she had to take it off. The police did, but the police called. I mean, the school called the police, and then they trespassed the mother because she wanted to know why they took pictures of her daughter and harassed her about it. And the principal said, well, we have nothing against it. Just the police told her she was being distracted, but she had to take it off, which was double talk. But this is what they're doing in our schools against our children, especially our conservative children. They can wear any other type of outfit they want, Biden or anything. But if it's conservative, it's a no-no. If it's gay flag, it's fine. But if it's a U.S. flag, forget it. It interrupts the learning process. It interrupts what they're doing. Because believe it or not, a lot of people think the flag represents Trump. You see that out on so many flagways. Give the freedom finger and yell against Trump to the flag. It's sad, folks. Sad what we're seeing. Sad. We've given up in the country. They've given up everything of God. Everything. We have to bring it back. As God-fearing people, God-loving people, we've got to get it back. If we don't, our society is going to be totally immoral. Total. And it's close. It's close. I mean, my goodness, we got 1 full month now of pride. And the Bible says pride is the worst of all evils. We have to read the word and understand pride goes along with the love of money and everything else, and it all comes down to the money and the way of life. It's just sad to watch this going about. Sad. That's right. That you're right, Party Bonds, is that is true. But you know, even the Pope is celebrating the pride. But the other cardinals and bishops and everything are totally against it. You see a big flare up in the Catholic Church. But pride is the most deadly sin. It brings everything down. Everything comes to the pride. And they use, that's one sign that it's not good. Another sign, they take God's rainbow, God's promise, and twist it. They twist it. Exactly right. I feel that each individual has the right to decide what they want to do, who they want to worship, what they want to worship. But don't push it on other people. That's all part of the freedom, liberty, pursuit of happiness. They have the right to doom themselves forever. but don't push it on us. Don't make laws that make us have to do it. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to form our children to think that it's okay, it's fun, it's moral. You don't have to think about God. Just do whatever you feel is right. I mean, God wants you to do anything that's right, is what the devil is telling them to say. But it's plainly written. It's all wicked. It's all sinful. We have to open people's eyes that they're slowly but surely twisting their thinking to thinking that, oh, maybe they have a point. And, oh, they ought to be able to do that, which they do have the right to do that. They do have the right to do it. Unfortunately, that's the way it was set up by God. And the devil has dominion here. But we were instructed to fight against it, to be the caretakers, to teach people against it, and bring it back around and fight the holy fight. I don't quite understand that, Nobby. It's against our English Constitution for the king to murder his real English wife to marry Catholic. Yeah, they're Anglican. They have their own religion. And the English Constitution forbids the crown to marry Catholic. Oh, okay. He can't murder his wife. You know, that has gone on and condoned by the bishops in the Anglican Church for centuries. You hear a lot where the bishops told them to do away with the wife, do away with the error in God's name. A lot of documentary, a lot of movies and documentation on how they do that. And it's sad. And that's why the Dutch, the Pilgrims, fled on the Mayflower to come to the colonies to get away from the British rule, to get away from their Bible being rewritten and being told that they couldn't practice it. And everything has splintered off from the one main church. And it's been, how can I say, it's been splintered into thousands of pieces. And nobody really knows, unless you read the word. And the only ones that really know for sure is people that are quite well read up and knowledgeable of Greek and Hebrew. So it's a big question, and there's a lot of different ideas with the Greek and the Hebrew authorities. We had to read it and think on our own and pray to God that He shows us the way He wants us to do. And it's hard. It's hard.
But there's too much infighting in the churches, splitting off. A lot of them are even getting away from God. Hey, Lynn, how you doing? Carol, glad to have you with us. They're running from God, and we see it. Get disillusioned by it, but we got to keep strong, keep our faith in the Lord, read the Bible, trust that He helps us understand it, and believe in the one main verse, John 3:16, and everybody knows it. And abide by the Ten Commandments. And the Ten Commandments cover most of it. There's a lot of history in the Bible, a lot of recommendations, law and common sense. You just have to sit down and read it, comprehend it, and don't let somebody try to brainwash you and say, I have a friend. He was going to a Baptist church. I'm not saying, but he was going to a Baptist church. And he's a former Catholic. Well, he went to Mass to see, just to check it out, see if anything had changed. Well, this friend sent him a big text, told him he was going to hold the whore mother church. He's going to be condemned to hell because he was listening to that church, and that they were going to tell Pastor so and so that he went to the church, and all that does is make conflict. It's the same way in our movement. Well, we're going to do that, and they fight against you, make people discontent, make them lose interest, and that's the devil's way, even in the churches. And a lot of churches teach that way. If brother so and so does something against you, let the pastor know, let the pastor correct it, let the pastor get on them. And that's not the way the Lord works. Not the way the Lord works. And we had to take that idea into everything we do. Don't push people away. Don't condemn them. You can help them. Talk to them about it, but don't tell them they're right, wrong, or indifferent. They'll know whether they are or not. If they really believe in something, they will know, and they'll be shown. That's a good question. That is a good question. Back years ago, I took my daughter, my oldest daughter, and I had a Mustang and a Fiero, and her boyfriend drove my Mustang, and I drove the Fiero. We went down to Key West. Well, her boyfriend was the type that liked to wear I don't know what to call it, but the strap men's t-shirt that the gays like to wear now, or then too. And I told him that wasn't a good idea to wear in the Key West, and he said, "Why not?" I said, "Because that's what they wear, and that shows people what they are." Well, we got down there, and he wore it anyway, and he had to walk like sideways because they were all confronting him and, oohing and ahhing. He was embarrassed to death. But they take things like jeans and the T-strap, is what I call it. They take the rainbow. They take every common thing that people use or God uses or what have you, and
the devil uses it against us to confuse us. And everyone who's read the Bible knows that the rainbow was a promise from God. So of course the devil has to steal it. And he's going to get away with it. Unfortunately. He's going to get away with it. There's so much evil going on. So much corruption. Everybody's affected by it. Everybody. Especially our government, because our government kicked God out. Pure, plain, and simple. Now we had to fight and put on the full armor and go against them. We had to go against them. And a lot of people don't realize it, that they're using us against ourselves. They are using each and every one of us against ourselves. Until we wake up to that fact, we're going to be slaves. We're going to do what they say, when they say it, and how they say it. We might as well be like communist China. Because we're already pretty much there. We can't do anything without the government's approval, period. Exactly right. Exactly right, Nobby. They're bringing in books in the schools that are really pornographic. Our children shouldn't even be looking at them or reading them, period. You know, when you get older, on your own, 18, fine, dandy. Too young to decide or even experiment in things like the stuff that they put on the bookshelves, let alone the drag queen stories. You know, they want to do that in their clubs or adult entertainment, fine and dandy, go for it. But not the children's library, not any library. It has its time, it has its place. A lot of people look at it as comedy, like burlesque. But we all know what it is. We all know what goes on. Keep our children out of it. Keep it out of our government. Keep it out of our schools. Keep it out of our libraries. Do it in your own home, in your clubs, in your lounges, and be happy with it. But no, they want us to partake in it. They want us to see how foolish they look, prancing around like pixies, like Pee Wee Hermans. I mean, it's funny. It's comic. It's weird. But we won't want it pushed in our face. Nobody wants things they don't like pushed in their face. And they just don't get it. They want it to be more the rule than anything else. Yeah, Rome should have taught us a lot, but like they're trying to kill history. They don't even push history as a main course anymore. It used to be a required course. When I went to school, we had to take 3 years of history to get our credits to graduate. We had to take world history, American history, and ancient history. And now it's not even required. Kids don't know what history is. A lot of them don't know anything at all about history. They don't know what country's what, where a country is, or if it's a country or if it's not a country. Watch Mark Dice. He goes around asking people questions and they like stupidly go along because they don't know. They don't pay attention. And it's sad. It is really sad. I mean, we've done so much in history to try to correct things, and then others try to keep it status quo. It's been a big battle as far as, say, racism, slavery, you name it. You know, from my opinion, my musings, there's no such thing as racism anymore. Racism was defeated. But there's people that want to keep it going and call everything racism. There's a lot of ethnicities that like to do things on their own. And they should have the right to do it if they so please. It's not racism, it's ethnic pride. But they label it racism as a bad word. It's racism. You know what that means? And they keep it going and going and going, and they get it in our head, and we can't get it out. And we're privileged. We're privileged. Everybody I know, no matter what ethnicity or what religion, what have you, most of the people are just about the same as the other. If they're just normal, regular citizens, not the elite. Most people pretty much have, give or take, most of the same things, afforded the same things, able to get the same things, do the same things, go to the same places. I've never seen anybody turned out or away from anything because of their ethnicity. Never, ever, ever. Yep, exactly. And Hitler knew that it wouldn't work going against a color. So he went against the Jews because he knew he could convince his people by religion, I didn't say beliefs, but religion. They thought the Jews killed Jesus. He used it as a tool to get people stirred up and get people thinking his way. That's how he did it. You cut off, you get rid of all the guns, you create a common enemy, you change history, rewrite history book. They burnt millions and millions and millions of history books in Germany. before World War II. Exactly, Carol. Yeah, we all do. I've made money and I've lost more money than I've made. So, but I have the ability to do it, or had the ability to do it, and everybody has the same exact ability, and a lot of it comes from lack of desire, lack of motivation. Boy, people have to make up their mind what they want to do and how they do it, and stick to it. Keep your nose to the grindstone and work for it. It's not a free meal. Everybody wants a free meal, a free ride, free education, free everything. Yeah, they could bring prices down for education because back in the early '60s, flower power and everything was going on. Universities was a playground. Universities were the liberal starting point of all the problems that's going on now. We had the Kent State University. So I was an underclassman. He was a year behind me. Dean Kaler was going to Kent State University and walked me to that park during that time. And he was the one who was paralyzed for life. It all started back then. All this stuff trying to change the government, trying to get socialism in, fighting the Vietnam War, so on and so forth. If a black man went with a white woman, they would beat him to an inch of his life or even kill him, and nobody thought twice. Governor of Alabama tried to keep black girl from entering the school there. It was a very trying time and watched a lot of cities burn. A lot of bad things happened, a lot of fighting. And I witnessed a lot of it. Saw, witnessed. And like I say, I had friends that were affected by it. Very trying time, even in people going to concerts. If they didn't like the way you look at what you was doing, beat the slop out of you, and leave you either half dead or dead because of race. I was at a tire store and watched police in a certain town pull over a driver for running the stop sign. This was before the Miranda. This gentleman refused to sign the ticket, and 5 police officers beat the holy crap out of this guy. I mean, bloody. There's nothing you could do. Things were bad. Cities burned. I was in college. We had a college choir. Went to Charlotte, and we got to Charlotte just in time for a riot. We had to turn away and go somewhere else because they were burning the city. Scary time. But you know what? It's going to get worse. If we don't change things, don't change our minds and our attitudes and try to change things, it's going to get worse than that.
A lot worse. A lot worse. But until it smacks us right in the face, and it's just like a lot of you probably watching now, we're either very, very young or not even born in the early 60s, and so see this, know what's going on. When John F. Kennedy was assassinated, when all the civil rights riots and everything were going on. My whole time in school, this stuff was going on. When I graduated, flower power, the hippie cult come in, LSD, you name it. And it didn't get any better. And this is where they started infiltrating the universities and the colleges back in those days. They got their foothold by the flower power, by the liberal attitude. And they got in there and started educating people, brainwashing them, more or less. And here we are today. Think about it. You're exactly right. The Roman way of ruling was exactly that way. And they're learning history, but we're not teaching our children history. We're not showing them that that's the way it was. We have to open eyes. Let people know that this has happened before. Rome fell because of this stuff. Thank goodness. Let's hope that we don't fall like Rome did, that we don't become non-existent. Let's hope we can correct it and keep existing and keep the freedoms and everything we have. And we don't want to fall. We don't want to decline. We want to keep going strong for freedom. I was going to comment on that, Chaplain. A lot of famous black people know this and tell people that. And it's hard to describe. They know it, but they don't want to realize it. They don't want to admit to it. They'd rather have the fight, the turmoil. Which I don't understand. You're right, Party Bonds, free everything. Everything free. That's what they want. And that's the socialist idea. Everything free. Nobody had to work for nothing. It's handed to you on a silver platter. It just will not work that way. It's just totally unreasonable to even think it. But that's the way they think. And that's the way they act. And that's what they want. They want everything given to them. But when we do that, make everybody on an even keel, not equal, because you can't make everybody equal. Do everything on an even keel, everybody loses interest. They lose the passion to do things because everybody's the same. Why bother? Why be better? Never survive under those conditions because there's no reason to do anything. Everything just handed to everybody. Just exist to exist. Day in, day out, the same burden. Hey, Tommy, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Yep. But and even with all that happening, everybody knows that there were more Irish enslaved than there were the black. It was more up north, more in the cities, more in the large cities. Excuse me. Going out to the lake. That sounds like fun. Sounds like fun, Tommy. Uh, how'd your dentist go yesterday? Hope you did well with the headphones and everything. Watching the lives or listening to the lives on the headphones. You take it easy, Carol. Thank you for everything. Good luck on the softball tournament, and you have a good weekend too. But really, we have to forget all this free stuff and fend for ourselves and get out there and keep the competitive nature going. Otherwise, we'll lose our freedoms and we'll be slaves. We'll just be like an ant colony. In and out, back and forth, just the queen. And I don't think we want that. I don't think we want it at all. And I don't even want to see the times that I saw growing up. The rioting, the burning of cities, the assassinations. JFK, Bobby Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., and Malcolm X, you name it. I mean, bing, bang, boom. That's how they got rid of problems. And they were more conservative, each and every one of them, even though the Kennedys had the Democratic Party on their name, they would be considered conservative these days. I guess that's how far our party has sunk too. But even then, people appreciated his common sense and his knowledge, their knowledge of what was going on and what they were trying to correct. They saw it coming. They saw it in the works. And it started back during Hitler, during World War II, because Hoover approved of most of what Hitler was doing. And Roosevelt. Hey, Malcolm, Tanya, how you doing? Got a good showing from England today. But this started way back. And I'm trying to think who it was the big leader in the Masons and in the devil worship cults. I'm thinking Truman, but don't take me to quote. Publicly broadcasted. Eisenhower was a good general, but as a president, he had good ideas. He did a lot of good things, but he didn't push a lot. And people loved him, but he didn't bring about a lot. He tried to control the border, only allow so many immigrants to come in. I was young.
I was just a kid, but I still remember people talking about it. My parents took me out to see him when he come to Canton when I was a boy, and he sent me a. I know it was done with that automatic pencil, but thank you for a birthday card I sent him. I treasured that thing for a long time. But really, he was a good president. John F. Kennedy would have been a great president. But then we get people like Carter and Nixon really killed it for the Republicans. Things like that just destroyed us as a country. And with the Federal Reserve and the Rothschilds, the gold standard, we should have seen it coming. But a lot of that stuff wasn't explained and put out. There wasn't that much information on it. They kept it hush hush. They kept it behind closed doors. There was a lot of spying going on along. Excuse me. That's why Nixon got in trouble, because there was a lot of people behind closed doors and the wiretaps and you name it, that all this stuff was going on. Both parties, one was just as bad as the other. They can't say, maybe I can say it, called the kettle black, but that's the way it was. Yeah, we need to learn, because it's like I said, Chaplain, we know nothing about politics in other countries. We know absolutely nothing. Absolutely not a blooming thing. If you go out on the street today and ask somebody if they know the difference between British and English, they wouldn't know. If you ask a person what's the difference between a Russian and a Soviet, they wouldn't know. A chancellor and a king, a prime minister to a queen, they wouldn't know. And a lot of it, I don't know. And I feel the same, because I've studied my whole life, trying to learn things like this. But if you don't see it day in and day out, you don't grasp it. You just don't keep it in your head. It goes back in those back vaults, the ones with the cobwebs way back there. This is what we have to do. We have to understand what's going on. Not just be, like I said before, not just be isolationist. Not just put ourselves in one place and not go out and try to correct everything. But this is a world issue. This is not just the U.S. We have our big problems that we need to fight here. But we need to help all of our fellows around the world that are fighting for the same things where they are, where they're sitting. Like Nabi, like Malcolm, like you in Germany, and like in Canada with Tommy, everybody. We need all try for the same thing, freedom, everything. Unite everywhere. Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to get across. That if we just sit in a corner and think about ourselves, we will definitely lose, because the world and the forces of evil out there around the world is much greater than this one country. And they're proving that day in and day out with the WEF, the WHO, you name it, the three-letter evil dictators that are out there running everything.
We have to get that under control too. I mean, our people in our government say that they're trying to keep it off, but Biden is trying to give it away as fast as they keep defending it off. And we have to keep the pressure on and let them know that we don't want the one world order, governing everybody into slavery, saying how many people should live, how many people should die, how many people should do this, and how many people should do that, day in and day out, trying to tell us what to do, like we're machines. In fact, they're trying to turn us into machines, trying to change our DNA and what have you. And this is all being proven, but yet we don't seem to care. Turn me into a Borg. Exterminate, exterminate. Doctor Who. uh, yeah, it's a crazy world, and we're just watching it like we're watching a TV show, a movie. And we have people and there's films out there that document everything and tell everything, and we still ignore it. There's movies you can go back and look at them and see what they forecasted years ago, and a lot of it's coming to pass. A lot of it is coming to pass. And we looked at it as entertainment. But apparently there were some producers out there trying to get a point across. And then we have companies like Disney that come in and put clouds and smoke with the word sex in it and pornographic images buried in the scenery, where if you played it frame by frame, you could see it. But our minds see it, and they know our minds see it. There's things going on in our brain that we don't even know. They can implant an idea. They can implant a suggestion by just over and over showing something just fraction of a second, and our brain will catch it and process it. We won't be aware of it. We don't know how much processing and stuff that we could be gone through. We don't know. And, in the past 3 years, personally, I found out, I've never drank the Kool-Aid, never done anything, but I've been around people that did. And I personally have seen some of the effects of what they have gone through. It's like all of a sudden my heart, I was always 120/80 all the time. And all of a sudden my heart just started, misfiring, getting too high. The nerves in my feet started dying. My hands. I can't explain it. But so far, from all my research, I have found the thought and the theory that it is the EMF from our cell phones, because I used up until a year ago, I was lucky to have one phone, and I was lucky ever to be on it. And if I did, I never put it to my ear. And I tried to keep it out of my pockets. But since they did away with leather soles and shoes, our feet are not grounded to release this energy that goes into us. And there is proven videos that the cell phones
create these forces. They can start fires. They can make a penny stand up and spin around. They can do all kinds with several phones, several phenomena. They can do with the phones. And there's videos out there showing it. Very interesting idea. And we all know when we go to the beach and go barefooted that we feel a lot better for some reason. I mean, it's just a different thing. You feel a release when you get on the beach or out in the sand or out walking barefoot. Except for when you step on a rock or on a thistle, on a sand spur or what have you. Common disasters when you're going barefooted, which I hate. That's why I wear flip-flops. But even the flip-flops are rubber plastic bottoms that they don't let the forces go through. I heard today that 1 out of 3 believe in conspiracy theories. 1 person out of 3 believes in conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories. You know, it's an evil thing. A conspiracy theory. Not theories, but they're conspiracy. They're going against the chosen few. That's really, if you think about it, it's a high number. Why do they think? Why do they believe in the conspiracy theories? We got to pay attention. We got to learn. We got to absorb. I mean, there's a lot of people go out there and they say, well, this person's still alive, that person's still alive. You know, well, why? You know, I don't understand things like that. Now, that is a conspiracy theory. You know, John F. Kennedy's still alive. Well, he would be well over 100. Poor guy. And what good does it do? What good does it do for anybody? You know, it doesn't even talk like that. It doesn't make sense. Now, things like like I'm saying, the EMF, the HAARP, different things that's going on, the weather, the streaming in the skies, the balloons. A lot of things need to be checked upon, need to be found out, need to be investigated. It's just like our elections. Yeah, theories are guessing, but there's a lot of correct guessing going on. That's the bad part. A lot of them aren't actually theories. A lot of them are labeled theories. A lot of them are labeled that way. It's all part of the falsities, you know, that they're trying to say we're saying false things. We had to watch. We had to learn. We had to bring it out of theory into fact. That's what we all need to do. That's what I'm saying. We need. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. We need to find out what's theory and what's fact. And the only way we're going to do it is investigate, watch, catch them in the act, video, because the media is not going to do it. They're not going to tell us. They're not going to let us know. It's up to us as individuals, regular citizens, to do it, to watch, the watchdogs, the caretakers, us, the people, to find out what's going on. A lot of them make sense. If I ever went to the UK, well, I love Scotland. I love York. Wasn't too impressed with London. Back when I was there, uh, uh, I, the harbor port where they build the ships there in the UK. It was kind of like Pittsburgh here. It was all smoky and cloudy and dirty. I liked it, but it was dismal. But I really liked the York area and Wales. And I know they're separate, Wales, Scotland, all that. But I like watching Chaz 73 in the mornings when she takes a walk through the countryside there because the countryside is beautiful, beautiful everywhere. It reminds me of West Virginia here without big hills. And a lot of English, Scotch people migrated to West Virginia because I guess it reminded them of home. Even as far up as Nova Scotia, there's a lot of Scotch, a lot of English. And Newfoundland, a lot of Irish in Newfoundland. But yeah, that's probably what I'd like to visit because the pomp and ceremonies of Buckingham was good to see one time. I had high tea with the Lord Mayor of London when I was there. Got to hold the royal scepter that he uses in parades, and it was quite an honor, really, quite an honor. Best place, Lake District. What's that around? Let's see. Nobby is in New York area. Now, let me ask you if Nobby's still here, or you can answer me. Is York the same as Yorkshire, or is Yorkshire like a county, and York's a city in that county or district, whatever? All my years, I've never figured that out. I loved it. All the old ancient Roman ruins, the Druids ruins, the great cathedral there, the museum in York. I loved it. Loved it. Wish I could have spent more time there. And I also went to the Cambridge University there, near there. I think it was near there. We had a whirlwind trip. I went to 10 countries, and it took a month. Sang in all the cathedrals and sang for the Queen. Anyway, uh, Prince, Prince, Prince. What is it? Wasn't Prince Albert? Prince Albert? Yeah, and then St. Peter's Basilica in Westchester, Westchester, Westminster Abbey. Boy, I'll spit it out. Like I say, I get tongue tied and I stutter. I just have to spit it out. A lot of things I did on that whirlwind tour in a month to France, England, Scotland, France, Germany, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Austria, Rome, uh, Madrid, and Lisboa. Great time, great experience. All of it, great memory. And it's a shame that a lot of things have happened since then. A lot of things have changed. And back in Germany, that was when the wall was still there too, and we got close, but we didn't get too close in West and East Berlin. It was very interesting and educational. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Beautiful area.
But folks, we got so much to live for. To have the government burn us down where we don't care about things like this, where we can't do things like that, we can't afford it. That's what we have to fight for. To be able to get it back, where we can afford to do this stuff, afford to enjoy life, pursuit of happiness, and we're not doing it. We are not doing it at all. Sitting back, working our butts out until we retire, save money and do it when we retire, and then we keel over because of the stress we live during our life, working to get there. And a lot of people do that, just that. They just get to retirement and boom, it's over. They can't enjoy it. They just go. We got to learn to live a better way. And hopefully we can get it going. Band together. Do it. Just like what I was going to say before, we send we want our kids to go to college and go to universities. We've been taught all of our life that college and universities were the only way. The only way to get a good paying job. The only way to get ahead in life. Well, that's phooey because the colleges, a lot of kids go and they learn. They do go for a reason, but majority, it's just a big social playground. Big social playground and a waste of thousands and millions and billions of dollars because they come out with a degree that they've probably been given for no effort, because like they're doing in normal public schools now, they just pass them along and give them the degree, and they come out and they can't find anything. They spend all that money, and they want the government to pay it back. Well, we need to find a better way. We almost had a better way. We used to have trade schools, vocational schools that taught people trades. It's like my youngest brother. He quit school, but got him a lawnmower, started mowing lawns. And he buy another piece of equipment, a bush hog, got bigger. Started getting companies to hire him, doing big corporate properties, hiring people, firing people. Started a nursery, did well in the nursery business and the landscaping business. He learned the trade. He learned what to do with the insects, and the horticulture and everything. Built up. Now he's redoing homes and selling them, making a good income, making a lot more than most people. It's your desire, your willpower, what you want to do. You don't have to go to university except to learn skilled things you want to do in life. And a lot of things are more knowledge than skills. You can learn to be a lawyer and lie from books and don't take a big university or college to teach you that. You could have a smaller lawyer trade school teach you all that. It's up to the individual. It's not up to the schools, universities to brainwash people. And a lot of them don't know any more than you or I. That's the sad part. You probably know people like that. They're as dumb as the day is long. They have book knowledge, but no sense. No sense. Exactly.
Exactly. Peace through strength. And we have to show them that we mean it, that we're not playing around. And the only way to do it is to raise our voice and talk about it and let everybody know. Day in and day out. Spread the word, just like the gospel. Jesus didn't do it by sitting in a church and waiting for people to come to him. He got out with the masses, got out with the crowds, got out with the people. And we need to do that in our churches. We need to do that in our government. Because they both go hand in hand. This country was founded on the Judeo-Christian beliefs. And no matter what people worship, it's part of the freedom. God is in control, and we need to keep him in control, no matter what. No matter what. Yes, indeed, he did. He didn't sit in a temple. He didn't sit in a cathedral. He didn't sit in a big church made for man, in glory of man, the builder that did it. He went to the people. In fact, there's very few instances, when he was 12, and then he went to the one in I can't think of the name of the town, and talked to the priest, or the rabbi, excuse me. But very few instances you see of Jesus in the temple. Oh, he turned the temple upside down, getting rid of the people that were making money off of sacrifices and trading sacrifice lambs and money laundering and you name it. He went in there and tore it up. But that's what we have to do as individuals, is follow that lead in everything. In our worship, in our government, do the exact same thing. Get out there and spread the word. And do it with boldness. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Talk about it everywhere. Somebody starts talking about prices and how bad it is and how much gas costs and this. Say, what are we going to do about it? What can we do about it? And then either mention your group or 1776 Restoration Movement, whatever you belong with. Give them the information. Get them on your side. Wake them up. Let them know there is something we can do. And there is something we can do. And get all of our organizations together with one big voice. Not dissenting voice, not this one against that one. Or you can't have this person in there. Or that. All the rhetoric that goes on that they throw at organizations is pure buoy. Because no matter what you do in life, there's people that have done the wrong thing, been in the wrong place, done bad things, and they're going to come across you in life, no matter what you do, no matter where you are. And you don't make a big scene of getting them out of the way. You keep it quiet, keep it peaceful, say, please go help somebody else. People like that should stay away from events, from rallies, what have you. They can work from home, do their thing online, other ways to show their patriotism, their ideas. But don't destroy a movement coming out and trying to join in and trying to go unnoticed. Because your sins will find you out.
Your sins will find you out, the good book tells you. But to condemn a whole group for the act of one person is ridiculous, insane. And we got to get over it. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. By the way, everybody go to Chaplin's page. His broadcast, 5 p.m. has his name. I'm pretty sure he can put his y'all put your links up there. Everybody's got links. Put your links up there. Zero, you, Chaplin. I don't know, Freedom's still on here. Everybody has a page. We've got 12 people here. I'm sure there's a few. Thank you, Zero. Everybody visit these pages and sub. Help them out. It all goes hand in hand. All of us got to help each other and get the word out. The word of freedom and the word of the Lord. They go hand in hand. I don't care what people try to tell you. People tell you that the church has nothing or belief has nothing to do with freedom. They are so wrong. They are so wrong. So wrong. But hopefully we can open their eyes, get them to realize that it does go hand in hand. Oh, scene. I don't want scene. Watch a little bit of this broom dance. Is it like what do they call them? The mummers? Is that like the mummers, Navi? If you would put chaplains and some of the others you have, please too. Very interesting. Oh, like the very interesting. I have to watch the rest later. If y'all have this, it's pretty, pretty cool video that Navi has up there, folks. I don't know how much plainer to say it. I just don't. So if we all get out, we got to get out there and help each other, evangelize the world, bring revival, bring change. And we're not going to do it sitting on our duffs. We are not going to do it sitting on our duffs at all. Everybody subscribe to Chaplin. If you can't make it at 5, watch the replay. Like, share, subscribe. And mine too. Like, share, subscribe. If you haven't hit the like button, go hit it. But my main goal is to
educate, talk about it, try to find things that people don't see, don't find out on their own. uh, Understand that exactly, now, Nobby. Understand that exactly. That, yeah. Yep. So it's not actually a mummer. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you very much. Everybody help each other out. It's not about the amount of subscribers, not really about the amount of likes. It's about getting it out there, spreading the word. Get the word out there to everybody, all four corners of the earth. Ooh, why did I say that? Is that flat earth? Four corners of the earth. And the Bible talks about the corners. Whoa. Things, what we think about, how we react, how we live our lives, how we conduct ourselves with other people. Need to all be towards the common goal. Get out there and do it. And lead by example. Lead by example. Well, I tell you what, the last couple of days here, Florida has been thunderstorm. I mean, well, for the past week, yeah, must be all coming from the west and now settling in here. And they're not fast moving. They like to sit and just float south, not move south. They float slowly. And we'll clear one, and another one comes up. And vicious lightning and wind. If you watch a river, you can see her driving to it morning and night. And once she went through this morning on this morning's drive, it hit Orlando after she got to work. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The wearing of the green. Well, that's Irish too. Very interesting. Yeah, a lot of dances, a lot of dances. Uh, we had the big thing, even the Irish River dance, it swept our country a while back, and a lot of English dancing. Yep, and we are the world. We are the people. We the people. Everything. We got to remember it. Remember it. I can't say it too strong. Help each other out. Help each other. Well, I'm going to call it an afternoon. I hope you've all enjoyed. I've enjoyed talking to each and every one of you. And we need to learn a lot more. So bring it to it. Bring it to it. Let's educate each other. Let each other know what's going on. Go to their pages. See what they talk about.
come up with all kinds of ideas and ways to do things, because we're all basically looking for the same goal everywhere. Everybody I talk to, same idea, same situation. So let's get her done. Go out there and do it. Wave our flags. You have a good day too, Lynn. Let's stir it up and get her done. And if you can't, call Junior BR549. I'm going to date myself a little bit. See you later, Malcolm. Have a good day. Good evening. Well, good evening there already. But everybody here, have a good evening. I'll see you guys at least Monday. If I have my granddaughter born, I'll let y'all know sooner. I'll try to now, but if nothing comes up, I will try. If not, I will watch it on the replay. But y'all have a good day. God bless you. I love each and every one of you. See you later. Bye now.